put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates, and thank you for staying with us. We are going to continue this discussion this morning, and right now we're speaking with Ricardo Alfred, and he is the chairman of TADCO, and of course we're going to get his response to the situation that is happening there and to all that came forth from the farmers who declared that they have, recorded losses as a result of spoilage from their goods being stored at the facility there at TADCO. Good morning and welcome.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, Tobago.
Right. So, of course, we're happy to have you here so that we can have a balanced conversation as it happens. So it's out there. Farmers have declared that they came to the facility to store their goods and they were told that the equipment is not working, the blast freezer, where they usually store goods in preparation for sales. They have also claimed that there was no communication prior to them coming there, and so they were caught off guard. Some of them have claimed that they had goods storing there and they were not up to the temperature, I suppose it's freeze, for them to prepare to sell. We want to get your position on this because what they are claiming is that the primary thing is the lack of communication with them. They have walked us through their experience, so we'd like to hear from you now what has happened from your end of this whole scenario.
Right, so good morning again, and it is very important that we bring a lot of context into this, So I was informed that the blast freezer, and just to make it clear, TADCO has a series of cold rooms, a chiller, and a blast freezer. There are 4 cold rooms, the chiller, and a blast freezer. The blast freezer's sole purpose is that when stuff come into the compound at a warm or not desirable temperature to go into the storage, it is blast freeze and then it goes into storage. That is how it works. So that's how the refrigeration system works. Taking something from a warm temperature and putting it into a cold room at -10 will definitely affect the temperatures because it's a heat transfer and we have to understand the refrigeration process. So the heat will affect those rooms. I was informed that the blast freezer was not
Before you move forward, right? So the process is you bring in your goods, they go to the blast freezer and then to storage.
There's some people who have stuff to chill, right? And then you have persons who have stuff that we maintain in the cold storage after thing, because TADCO has the largest cold storage compound on the island.
Right.
We're talking about Chef Barbecue. We're talking about all these major persons that I'm not seeing in the media today. Royal Castle, all these people store with us.
Other clients.
Other clients.
Right.
On Friday, I would have received a call that there was no water on the compound, in which we were in several communications with WASA, in which I had to send the staff home, right? And that is what happened on Friday. I'm not the security protocol is that when there's no operation happening on the compound is closed and they maintain security. I'm not aware of any other issues. I was informed the blast freezer was not working. This has to go through a procurement procedure. As you understand that the Procurement Act is now in place, we have to go through OPR and that type of thing. It is not a case where in the past we could have choose someone and come in and fix. That is no longer the case. They must go through the proper channels to get this thing done. A group of persons would have tendered, a group of persons would have been evaluated, and then someone is chosen, and then the freezer, I am told, will be up and running by Thursday. That's the blast freezer. Prior to persons coming into the compound, when we know that they are stocking up and planning to do slaughter, the conversation did happen with them when they got the ice. I am told by my foreman, and I have to trust the word of the foremen. I cannot deny anything different from the foreman. Same Friday, I would have received a text to my phone from a farmer saying, and I want to read what the text said actually, so that we are very clear on what that text is said. The text would have said, there will be a protest at TADCO at 3 p.m. We are calling on all farmers to attend. Cold room was shut down completely and no goods will be stored, as well as farmers have a lot of spoilage. I am the chairman of TADCO and I received that message.
A farmer sent this message to you?
Yes. So my response was like, but how is it that the cold storage system shut down and spoilage? if persons do not get certain things addressed at the CEO level, at the management level, they are fully aware that they can write me directly, and then I will get involved. Once it affects the operation of the company, I will get involved. I am not aware of all of these allegations about some worker the person mentioned in the past, and I'm not aware of all of those things. I don't get involved in them things. All of them have my contact. I have had several meetings with them. We had a lot of non-crisis meetings in terms of the direction in which TADCO could have gone forward. I have no ill feelings towards anyone because all of them were part of the poultry program, and when that poultry program continues, they are all going to be part of it. But at the end of the day, persons must understand the procedure. And there was communication from the time they buy the ice, letting them know, hey, we're having some issues there. And so I don't want to get too involved in it because...
So I want to understand the process, right? You're telling me about buying ice and you're talking about a blast freezer. I am not a farmer.
Oh, sorry. Right,
and I don't know how the process is.
Right.
So is it that they have to purchase the ice?
When you slaughter an animal, from that slaughter onset, it normally goes into some... After it's killed and cleaned and bagged, they normally have coolers.
Right.
And it is chilled by the ice.
This is by the farmers before they bring it.
Before
okay.
they bring it to the...
I'm on the same page with you
so
now.
They chill it down to bring down the temperature so it comes to the compound and they blast freeze.
Right.
And stuff like that. Now, we at TADCO have to understand one thing. We are here not just to help a certain group of people. The name of the company is Agribusiness Development Company, and Tobago being the first name of that acronym. We have to understand that as Tobagonians, we have to know exactly where we are, and as relates to agriculture in Trinidad and Tobago. I am a registered farmer. I have a farm. I am involved in livestock, short-term, long-term. I would have recently built a greenhouse that is showing great involvements, and at the end of the day, I understand what they are saying, but I don't want people to say that there wasn't any communication at all, because when I received that text message, the first thing I did was to speak to the CEO to get abreast as to what is really happening. And I, since that blast freeze have been done, I personally go down there from 5 in the morning, at 10, then I go back at 2, and then I come back at 10 in the night to see the temperatures of the other rooms. We're talking about -10, some rooms say -12. I go and check. The only room that is done is the blast freezer.
And so when the farmers come and they purchase the ice now to store their meats, is in preparation to bring to blast freeze. At the point of purchasing the ice is when they are informed the blast freezer isn't working?
They would have had conversations with some foreman, and foreman would have told them, listen, we're having some issues there with the blast freezer. If you want to slaughter, just know that we will try to assist her. And we did try to assist. The gentleman before would have said that on the same Friday, in which we had conversation with him, in which I'm told that the CEO had a conversation with him after 1 day, letting him know, listen, we will try to assist you, come back at 8 in the night to try to assist you. So I was most blown away when I saw that text that came to my phone. And they came back and store with us. So it is beating me, to understand what are we really discussing today. It is very puzzling to me. And at the end of the day, it is not an issue of communication. It is an issue of persuasion and trying to persuade people and try to create this thing. Now, my name is Ricardo Alfred, and that has been bandied about every week in some form or fashion. And I have no issues with that because I can deal with that. I would have chosen to represent on the board as the chairman, and I do not send anybody to do any biddings for me. I deal with the matter straight on. But I will continue to work with persons, and I want persons to understand that I understand these type of systems at a technical level. As an engineer, I have repaired these types of systems. What happened, I'll give you just some context so that Tobago is aware. The compressor that runs that blast freezer, the windings damaged, right? Which is an electrical issue. So definitely, we'll have to put some voltage monitors on all of the systems. Before coming into operation, they will have to do some gas leaks in which the system is filled with UV liquid. You have a special type of glasses, you have a special type of light to check for different leaks. You have things like expansion valves. I understand the system very well now. And Actually, I was mostly shocked by the text, and now I'm seeing persons are saying that they just happen to just turn up down there, you know.
So, my understanding again, the farmers, they slaughter the animals, they have them on ice, and then they bring them to blast
Yes.
freeze. When they came to purchase the ice, they were informed that the blast freezer is not working. However, we'll try to accommodate you. There are other storage rooms, is
Yes,
what you're saying,
yes.
that can accommodate the animals after they've slaughtered them in preparation for sale.
When the rooms are at -10 and -12, depending on the temperature that it comes in with, because one of the things that I would have implemented is for them to check the temperature so that we record everything before it goes into the our rooms. And the idea behind it really is to have the conversation with them before, because at the end of the day, they are a Tobago brand, and I have no issues with them. It's a Tobago brand. I mean, I have been traversing between Trinidad and Tobago for the last 21 years, you know, on this ferries. I know exactly what comes Tobago. From first hand, I know exactly what comes Tobago. So when this poultry program was implemented, I felt so good to know that people like Church's Chicken and all these different people were buying their chicken. And that is what we are trying to do. We are in the process now of getting a slaughtering plant to assist them further.
Right. So what I want to clarify,
Yes.
Earlier in the discussion, you mentioned that whether if it's too warm, walk me through that aspect of it, because you're saying after they slaughter the animals, they come to get ice to chill the animals.
The ice is before.
So they buy the ice and then they slaughter.
Yes.
So they can.
Yeah, some people, you would have their workers starting the slaughtering process, where you would have some other group or something getting the ice, so that when it's slaughtered and whatever, it goes into the coolers, chilled with ice, and then it comes down to the compound.
And then you also spoke about some animals being at a different temperature, which is a bit warmer.
No, depending on the temperature they bring it at.
So it's up to the farmers to determine how they're going to bring in the animals.
I know someone was talking about, you know, that the person before, she mentioned that meat can store up to 3 days or something.
At chilled temperature.
At chilled temperature. I don't even want to start that conversation. However, what I would say is that when it comes to the compound, we check the temperature before with our temperature gun, and then it goes into the blast freezer. If they want it chill, it can go into the chill mist for them to decide on what they want. But because of the issue with the blast freezer, we were trying to assist person in the best way possible.
By using the other storage rooms.
Yeah, using the
and that is an acceptable procedure.
Based on what they would have brought in, it goes into, let's say something's at -12, we would have told them, listen, if we are taking this chance of storing it for you, it will be at your own risk. Keep in mind that our blast freezer is down, and we are going through a process of getting these equipments purchased. And they would have signed to that, right? They would have signed to that.
They would have signed to that at the point when the blast freezer went down?
Yes.
And how long has the blast freezer been down?
The blast freezer went down, based on my information, on the 16th of April.
The 16th of April, the blast freezer went down, and they were aware of this from since the 16th of April.
I don't want to get, for me, I don't get involved in the operational part. When the blast freezer came down, that's when I would have found out what was happening.
Okay.
As to the operational part, who comes on the compound and that type of, and what they talk to the foreman, I don't get involved.
All right, so the farmers now are asking for compensation, right? They're asking for conversation and communication. In your view, as the chairman, what is the way forward? What is your strategy, and how are we going to move forward with this situation?
I want to do everything via paperwork, because we're talking about public funds. If the farmers have an issue and they're not getting some sort of agreement or some sort of arrangement through the management level, they are free to write me, in which they have done. And I would come in and have a meeting with them, and we try to solve the issue. Until then, I'm not going to get involved, because that's an operational part of it. Right? I'm not going to get involved in that part of it. Only when they write me on an issue and I find out, then I can have the meeting with them.
But they have said that they've written. Is it not you that they wrote to? You have not received?
As I said, I cannot get involved because I don't. I'm hearing it on the news here, right? And I don't want to get too involved. I'm not sure what's happening at the operational level. However, if they find that there's not getting the address that they want, they are free to write me. Persons have written to me on issues, and we have had meetings, and we try to solve the issue.
So once the correspondence comes to you, you will respond to it and have an audience with the relevant parties?
Because then now I would have all the facts together in terms of the investigation. mind you that, I mean, I am also an investigator of marine stuff. So I do investigations for a living, in which you have to hear all of the stories, look at the facts, because all of the temperatures are recorded by the security and by the staff down there, so that they must coincide. If there's an issue, because that is the system that we would have set up. Someone would have spoke about the fees being changed. I want people to understand that when we came to TADCO, 29 cents per kilogram, and I would have saw an electric bill of over $1 million. My mandate as the chairman that was given to me was to make the company profitable. So we would have embarked on a series of stuff. We would have increased the rent because it was definitely below the way the market value, bring it to an acceptable rate at $8 per square foot. We would have increased our ice. We would have definitely bring back the capital of Paradise into operation. I am actually seeing marginal trends from where we were in 2022 to 2023 and currently in 2024. And that is how I am looking at things as relates to that part.
Well, we're hoping to see some measure of resolve coming from this situation from both parties. The chairman here of TADCO, Mr. Ricardo Alfred, bringing his version of what happened and the conversations that have been transpiring between the two parties, and we're hoping that some resolve can come in the soonest possible time. And his way forward, as he mentioned, is once communication is received by him, he will have an audience with the persons, the farmers who have been affected by this situation. We too are hoping to hear how this situation is resolved. We thank you so much for staying with us right throughout the end of this program. This is where we have to end. Mr. Alfred, thank you so much for coming on the program this morning and bringing that measure of insight. Thank you to the farmers also for bringing their perspective, and we do hope to get some measure of resolve where this is concerned, and we urge you to stay tuned with us as we bring the information to you. But this is where we have to end the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kumbi, and I thank you so much for staying with us. We don't end our program in here. We head on over to GMT, so we do hope that you stay with us, and as you stay, of course, share the live, share the live, share the live.